2 months had passed since Elena destroyed the Obsidian Mist machines and saved Greywall City. Life returned to normal, and people began to feel safe again. But while Greywall City healed, Viktor Varnock was preparing for something bigger and more dangerous. In a secret underground facility far from the city, Viktor worked with old friends, engineers and scientists who shared his vision of control. Together, they built machines of metal and power, creating an army called the Iron Legion. These robots were not ordinary, they were special. Some could fly through the air silently, others could teleport in the blink of an eye, and some had incredible strength, able to lift cars with ease. But Viktor's greatest creation was Titanus, a massive robot standing over 20 feet tall, built with reinforced armor and equipped with advanced technology. It was nearly indestructible and was designed to be the leader of the Iron Legion. Viktor watched as his engineers finished the final touches on Titanus. Its eyes glowed a bright red as it powered up, scanning the room with sharp precision. Viktor smiled, knowing that this time, no one would stop him. He had a new plan: he would take control of Greywall City by force and make its citizens follow his command. But first, he needed to get rid of Elena. She was the only one who could ruin his plans. To make his plan work, Viktor needed someone close to Elena. That person was Marcus, a trusted member of Watchlight who had been secretly working for Viktor for months. Marcus approached Elena one evening with a look of urgency. "Elena," he whispered, glancing around to make sure no one was listening. "I found Viktor. He's hiding in an old, ruined mansion outside the city. I saw him with my own eyes." Elena's eyes widened. "Are you sure?" she asked, her voice filled with determination. Marcus nodded firmly. "I saw him working with machines. I think he's building something dangerous. You have to stop him before it's too late." Without hesitation, Elena geared up and prepared to leave. She trusted Marcus, he had always been loyal to Watchlight. She informed the team of her plan and left the city quietly, riding her motorbike through the winding roads that led to the outskirts. The mansion was exactly how Marcus described it: old, crumbling, and covered in vines. Its windows were broken, and the doors hung loosely from their hinges. But Elena didn't hesitate. She stepped inside, flashlight in hand, searching for any sign of Viktor. The mansion was silent. Dust coated the floors, and the air was thick with the smell of rust and decay. Elena moved carefully, her footsteps light as she walked through the empty halls. She checked every room, every corner, but there was nothing, just old furniture and cracked walls. Suddenly, she heard a noise. A soft, metallic hum filled the air, growing louder with each second. Elena spun around, shining her flashlight into the darkness. "Who's there?" she called out, her voice steady but tense. There was no answer, only the growing hum that seemed to vibrate through the walls. Elena followed the noise down a narrow staircase that led to the basement. The hum was louder now, echoing off the stone walls. She reached the bottom and found a large metal door, its surface covered in wires and strange markings. She pushed it open slowly and stepped inside. The room was enormous, filled with machines and flashing lights. At the center stood Titanus. Its massive frame glowed under the harsh light, and its red eyes locked onto Elena the moment she entered. She froze, realizing she had walked right into a trap. Before she could move, Titanus raised its arm, and from its palm, a field of blue energy shot out, surrounding her. Elena tried to step back, but her body wouldn't move. Her limbs were frozen, locked in place by some invisible force. She struggled, but it was useless, the energy field held her tightly. Titanus took a step forward, its heavy feet shaking the ground. Its voice was deep and mechanical as it spoke. "Target acquired. Initiating capture sequence." Elena gritted her teeth, trying to break free, but the energy field only grew stronger, pressing down on her with unyielding force. She watched helplessly as metallic arms unfolded from the walls, moving toward her with perfect precision. In seconds, they had clasped around her wrists and ankles, pulling her off the ground and locking her into a standing position. The energy field disappeared, but the metal restraints held her firmly in place. The room fell silent, and then she heard footsteps, slow and deliberate. Victor Varnock stepped out from the shadows, his eyes gleaming with triumph. He smiled, looking up at Elena as she hung helplessly in the metallic grasp of Titanus. "Welcome, Elena," he said smoothly. "I told you I would be back." Elena glared at him, her fists clenched even though she couldn't move. "You won't get away with this," she spat. Victor chuckled, shaking his head. "I already have," he replied. "And now that I have you, Greywall City is mine." He turned away, his coat sweeping behind him as he walked toward a massive control panel on the far wall. "Prepare yourself," he called back to her. "This is just the beginning." Victor now had everything he needed to begin his takeover of Greywall City. Titanus stood watch, its red eyes locked on Elena, who remained trapped in unbreakable metal restraints. Elena's mind raced as she thought of her friends, of Watchlight, and of the city she had sworn to protect. She knew this was only the start of something bigger, something darker, and she was determined to find a way to escape, no matter the cost. But for now, she was Victor's prisoner, locked away in his hidden fortress, with the Iron Legion preparing to march on Greywall City. And now, Victor's engineers started building more powerful machines, and secret factories began to produce smaller versions of Titanus. Elena's friends and Watchlight began to sense her disappearance, and plans to search for her were starting to form. The battle for Greywall City was just beginning, and the Iron Legion was ready to unleash its full power on the city. Subscribe for more interesting stories.